On a Halloween night at the graveyard, over a dare, 4 friends decided to go to a supposedly haunted graveyard on Halloween, on the outskirts of town. One of them, called Jael, whose grandma was a voodoo practitioner, said she would do a ritual to summon the devil. She was very mad at one of her friends, George, who had been caught kissing another girl, so she wanted revenge. She didn't believe much in voodoo or the dark man, but she wanted everyone to freak out, especially George. "I'm going to do a crazy spell to bring the dead to life." She was clearly lying, giving her ex-boyfriend a nasty look, which he returned to her questioningly. They walked through the dark and misty graveyard, over the once living. The dumb one kicked at some gravestones, laughing. "Why did you die? Why did you die?" "Don't stir the dead, Joey," shouted Mario. They hadn't noticed that George, Jael's ex, wasn't among them when Jael started her incantations. She had found the most horrible curse in her grandmother's forbidden book. The language was an ancient African shaman's speech, and she chanted it with hatred and Saranic vengeance. "Here are some offerings, only for the dark man of death and sorrow." She grabbed things from her bag and threw them all on the ground. They included a bone, hair, something very red, and weird-looking trinkets. Joey was the only one who wasn't afraid, and kicked the offerings and laughed. Suddenly, a gravestone broke and fell on his leg, breaking it. He screamed and waited in pain, as everyone except George, whose shadow was barely visible standing over a grave, still like a statue, panicked. They desperately tried removing the massive gravestone to no avail. Then suddenly the air changed, choking the life out of it. "Where is George?" screamed Jael, teary. She knew she'd summoned the dark man himself, and George was in grave danger. Mario desperately looked around and saw George's shadow. Calling out, he said, "George, get back here! Joey is injured, and he is bleeding badly." Jaelu looked and started crying, mumbling to herself, "I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry." Mario had already run towards the still, shadowy figure of George, who seemed to fade the closer he got. When he arrived at George's location, he wasn't there anymore. Smelling fresh, damp earth, he looked down at the new grave. It said, "Here lies George, a great offering to the dark man." The date on it was this very day, Halloween.